Hello there, you're watching the Pulse on the JoyNews channel. This afternoon, concerns emerge over President Akufo-Addo's appointment to the Electoral Commission. The NDC is raising allegations that an NPP member has been appointed to the election management body with 21 months to the next general elections. What are the implications? We'll explore that shortly. But for the president, he's unaware of this seeming concerns.
Are about those who cast the vote. Not those who count, not those who supervise, not those who transmit, and not those who declare.
We're equally paying attention to what's happening at the NDC headquarters. The internal primaries is heating up, with President John Dramani Mahama expected to pick up his nomination and to submit same today. We are expecting other candidates filing for the presidential slot of the opposition party to do same in the next few days. We'll get you the very latest on that. And the Foot Club condition continues unabated.
It's not a curse. It is not a debilitating condition, and that is a condition that can be treated.
Tell you about the health condition and why you need to be very much concerned and alarmed about it. This is The Pulse. The Pulse, as always, is brought to you by Global Communities Digni Lu, affordable, safe sanitation. Don't forget that we're on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 144. We'll get you the details shortly. I'm blessed Sogah, and welcome to the program. We'll be back shortly. This afternoon, there are concerns by some members of the NDC raising concerns about President Akufo-Addo's new appointments to the Electoral Commission. Three individuals, I beg your pardon, have been appointed to fill the vacancies at the Electoral Commission. The composition is obviously made up of 3 persons, with 4 others. 3 new people are coming in to replace 3 vacancies at the election management body. We'll be getting a profile of some of these individuals soon. But yesterday, President Akufo-Addo, while swearing in these individuals, charged them not to be cowed into submission. Listen.
It is no secret that I have spent most of my adult life fighting for the establishment of democracy and human rights in this country. And I've always fought for and advocated for a credible electoral process in Ghana. In emphasizing the importance and credibility of elections, it must be pointed out that the count, the collation, the declaration of results cannot and should not be more important than the sacred God-given right of a citizen casting his or her ballot. I have said it before and I will repeat it. Elections are about those who cast the vote, not those who count, not those who supervise, not those who transmit, and not those who declare. The heart of the democratic process is giving effect to the choices made by those who cast the vote. The 3 persons I have sworn in a few moments ago as members of the Electoral Commission are persons I am confident will bring integrity, professionalism, and independence and fairness of mind to the discharge of their duties. Article 46 of the Constitution demands that in the performance of its functions, the Electoral Commission will not be, quote, subject to the direction or control of any person or authority. It answers only to the Ghanaian people, the Constitution of the Republic, and its own conscience. As you begin work, you will find no honeymoon period. Neither will you be afforded the chance to settle into your new responsibilities. I have nevertheless confidence in you and in your abilities to surmount the hurdles before you. Each of you has excelled in your areas of focus, and you possess the requisite experience to deliver and meet the considerable expectations of the Ghanaian people. Remember that now, more than ever, every single decision you take will be scrutinized to the letter. That, however, should not scare you, and indeed, let no one try to cower you into submission. On the contrary, let this expectation of the Ghanaian people spur you onto great heights, and above all, work so that the will of the Ghanaian people is upheld. Realizing the dreams of the founders of our nation to build a free, united, prosperous, and happy Ghana on the basis of the principles of democratic accountability, respect for human rights, the rule of law, and the dictates of social justice must be our guiding principles of development. Congratulations once again.
Well, President Akufo-Addo there, but it's emerging today that some members of the NDC are beginning to raise concerns about these names. I want to bring in Samuel Mbura, who was at the NDC headquarters today, engaging some of the leading figures on the concerns they have. Sami, so let's get the exact concerns, especially from those within the John Mahama campaign. What are their concerns?
Right, so Professor Joshua Alabi, he actually came to the party's headquarters to submit the forms or file the forms on behalf of John Mahama, and their major concern had to do with what he said was the fact that the party actually won the 2020 elections, but they felt they were cheated, and going forward, what they would do is that they will build a robust, a secure coalition system for the NDC, and also raised concerns about the referee here, which is the Electoral Commission, and they are, or he's making the point that the upcoming election is going to be a crucial one, and they would not allow any form of compromise at all. So they have given a signal to the Electoral Commission to ensure that there's a fair playing ground for all, political parties that will be participating in the elections, especially the NDC. He believes that if there's no fair grounds for them, then it will create a chaotic situation for any party that is involved in the election. So he said they've already won the elections in advance, and waiting to see how the elections will go. But the main point is that the EC should be fair in its dealings with the political parties.
Did they mention any of the names specifically?
No, he made this comment in a general context. He did not actually mention that. I tried finding out from the top executives of the party with regards to this issue at hand now, where the president has sworn in the 3 members of the Electoral Commission. The information I had was that officially the party would meet over it, deliberate, and then later come out with an official communication on the situation.
Well, I'm grateful, Sami Mbura, joining us after he visited the NDC headquarters. But there's a lot of reaction meeting this. Let's bring in Kweku Asante, who's joining us from Parliament now. Kweku, what's been the reaction from the MPs giving these new names we're hearing? There's also a concern about Dr. Peter Piahini, who we understand has some affiliations to the governing party. What are we hearing from the MPs?
Indeed, it's been that of shock. Some of the MPs that I approached to speak to, when I showed them some of the pictures that have been going around on social media, we are very much surprised that such a person, indeed, particularly the lecturer at the University of Energy and Natural Resources, will now be appointed to serve on the Electoral Commission. Their concern is that the Electoral Commission is being bastardized. In the words of Kofi Adams, the former national organizer of the NDC, President Akufo-Addo is packing the Electoral Commission with known members of the New Patriotic Party to further they are breaking the agenda, breaking the 8th agenda for 2024. And they say that will not work. But ultimately, they want civil society, well-meaning Ghanaians, to speak about these appointments. They are not excited that persons who are publicly known to be identified with the New Patriotic Party are now being appointed. Of course, they know that these individuals may all have their own individual proclivities in terms of whatever political party they want to support or even vote for. But when such appointments or such persons are known to be public faces who support the political party, who is a key player in Ghana's electoral politics, to now be appointed to the Electoral Commission is something that they will not countenance. But this is not something that will come before Parliament. The President has the prerogative to make such an appointment. And these appointments have now gone through. The President has sworn them in. The NDC say that they will now be monitoring, paying keen attention to this. And then subsequently, there are much more matters that they have to put out in the public domain. Then they will do so.
Quick, Asante, grateful. So let's get a sense of the profile of these individuals involved. Richard Kujinyako is joining us via Zoom on this. Richard, let's start with the man at the center of this, the lecturer from UDS, Dr. Peter Apiahene. I guess that's the name, correct? We're having difficulties hearing you. If you could just unmute for us so we can get the point you're making. Yes, Richard.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear now.
Okay, so Dr. Peter Apiahene is an assistant professor with over 10 years working experience in the computer science industry and academic institutions, both domestic and international. And he has a PhD in computer science with specialization in reinforcement learning and machine learning. And Dr. Apiahene is also currently a faculty member of the Department of Computer Science and Informatics at the University of Energy and Natural Resources. But interestingly, what I gleaned from the profile is that he is also the patron of the new Patriotic Party Student Range TESCON at the University of Energy and Natural Resources there. So that is for Dr. Apiahene. We go to Reverend Ekia Ofori-Boateng, and Reverend Ekia Ofori-Boateng is a director of programs at the Anglican Diocese of Accra. She is a member of the United States Trade Advisory Committee on Africa and served on the 2022 Eminent Advisory Committee of the Electoral Commission of Ghana. And Reverend Ekia Ofori-Boateng is also the co-founder of Aquitas, a faith-based foundation which has a vision to see a world where underprivileged youth have an opportunity to pursue their passion. And as a priest, she has served at the Holy Trinity Cathedral. And so that is for Reverend Ekia Boateng. And for Madam Salim, she is a conservationist and she is also a data analyst. And so that is what we have by way of profile from the three people that have been appointed by President Akufo-Addo.
Interesting. Richard, thanks. Let's speak now to Dr. Asante, political scientist at the University of Ghana. Doc, the issue about political neutrality, it's not stated in the law, but given the fact that the opposition party is beginning to raise concerns about this, should we be worried?
Good afternoon, Blessed, and your viewers. If you look at the gentleman in question, nothing is showing that he is a member of TESCO, except that he's a patron. So holding an office of that nature, does it affect the work that he does? If there is anything untoward, I think the law must be explicit on that. And once he's gone through the process, I believe that nothing prevents him legally to hold that office. But sometimes what we have to do as people who want to occupy public offices, that if you think that a position given to you and the one you held before is likely to impinge on your work, then it requires that sometimes you advise yourself, particularly when you are dealing with an office such as election management body, where a little problem about neutrality undermines the fortunes of the body that you are serving. A little, thing that raises an eyebrow in the public with regard to your professional conduct, then you need to advise yourself. So sometimes some of these things tune, but you yourself must take a certain decision so as to make sure that you don't affect your organization in a certain negative manner. That is what I can say.
21 months to the general elections. Is that a time frame that giving the opportunity to any executive president to make appointments to the EC may want to tamper with. Is that the likelihood?
If the law doesn't prevent the government or the president for appointing people or replacing some people whose tenure has expired or they are on retirement, then there's nothing wrong. But sometimes too, if it's so close to election and there is opportunity for you to, as it were, stay out of that appointment, then it becomes advisable that the appointing authority can stay away if that is the opportunity given to the president by the law. But if the law is silent on this, then you cannot fault the appointing authority, for that matter, the president.
Because some leading figures, including Joshua Alabi himself, who one time tried to be president, leading figure of the NDC, they are raising concerns already about the posture of the EC going into the next elections. Let's listen into that, and then I'll take your thoughts briefly.
Blessed.
And I know, together with us, we shall go around the length and breadth of this country to talk to our people. Even with 51%, he has won. 60%, he has won. 70%, he has won. 80%, 90%, he has won. But we want 99.999%. To send a strong finger to our both opponents that our party is firmly united behind His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Well, apologies for that. Of course, we'll get the right sounds for you. But Doc, I was just about to point out some of the issues being raised by Joshua Alabi. The fact that the NDC feels the field is not as level for all parties going into the 2024 general elections.
That I missed the last bit. That what?
Yes, I was just about to go into the details. The points being raised by Joshua Alabi, the fact that the EC's posture is not helpful going into the next elections in 2024.
Obviously, if you are managing an electoral management body such as the EC, one needs to be fair, one needs to be, balanced, and then your posture should be that that is welcoming by all the actors on that political plane. Because take it or leave it, election is such a crucial matter that the slightest action that is taken, which you don't take care, can really undermine the fortunes of the election management body. So it is always advisable that you listen, and then those who are working at the helm of affairs, you work on that tightrope so as to protect the sanctity of the election and then the electoral processes. Because it's key to people accepting defeat and abiding by the rules of the game at the end of the polls. All right, so leadership has a big responsibility to be able to comport themselves in a certain way, in a manner that would really, win the confidence of people and lead to people believing in the outcome of the results, and then they take it as that is the decision of the people, and for which reason then they are ready to accept and then move on and then build a solid Ghana. That is a requirement that is needed when you are election management, body, and that is your task that you need to always perform and perform it right. How
do we get these new appointees to get along? Well, in the law, there's no need for them to have friendly relations with the political parties. But how do we make them get along with all the opposition parties and the governing one as well?
Obviously, you have rules of the game, so you follow the rules. All right, that is the first thing. The rules regarding your office must be adhered to rigidly. that you'll be neutral, you'll be fair, so you need to be professional as highly as possible. And then the actors, the key stakeholders within that industry, you need to make sure that you deal with them professionally so that any suspicion is erased. Normally, when you go on the tangent of doing things outside your remit or doing things that generate suspicion, that is where you have problems with stakeholders. But when you go according to the dictates of the Constitution, the laws establishing your office, and then the right professional touch, obviously you carry the day. And that is the way forward to Electoral Commission as they prepare us towards 2024 election, battle.
And as I was indicating earlier, just 21 months to the next elections, there are a number of reforms taking place. The Electoral Commission being hard on the use of the Ghana card, for instance, as that sole document for identification going into the election. It's not crossed the parliamentary level yet, but it's beginning to generate some debates. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if you look at it so far, what the EC, what the NIA are saying, that yes, they are going to work with they are going to make use of the national card as a sole document to be able to use for the electoral processes. I have no problem with that, provided that the time that we are ready for election, every Tom, Dick, and Harry who by law is qualified and in this country to vote will not be disenfranchised. That's my worry, because as a student of democracy, I want to see a situation where the principle of universal adult suffrage is adhered to rigidly. That means that anybody who by law qualifies to vote will not be disenfranchised. If Electoral Commission can, guarantee that, I am with it. If the National Identification Authority will able to also deliver on their promise, I am for it. But I don't want a situation where, in spite of all these promises, we get to the tail end and events have taken a different turn. That will create a problem for us. And for me, as a student of democracy, I don't want to see that. But as of now, they have not given me any cause to doubt that this could not be done. If you listen to Professor Tifa, he has demonstrated to us that, yes, if the government is able to pay the cost, the debt that they owe, and then we are able to get resources. He promised that he can do that within 11 days or so. He gives them a certain time limit. I trust and I believe that he should be able to carry us through this process. Once we get this, we should be fine, because all the time, the issue of voter registration creates a lot of acrimony, bickering and rancor, and doesn't bode well for a fragile democracy such as ours that we are trying to deepen and strengthen. So if we get, some of our acts together, for instance, the document that we use for voting, which is what? The voters' identification card, we get something that is permanent, that from time to time, as soon as children are born, their names are incorporated into it. Then that is the way forward. We have seen that in advanced democracies such as Denmark, United States, and the rest of them. We always want to pick from very good, examples and emulate very well. So if there is this opportunity, why not? But we need to be careful, so as to make sure that we carry everybody along and then make the system foolproof. That is the spirit behind democracy.
And the NDC refusing to be part of IPAC. They claim to be the largest opposition party. What does this mean for our democracy?
It is a difficult issue because their involvement is critical when you look at the fact that this country operates a two-party system. That only two parties, there are so many parties within the country, but only two have the political wherewithal to win power and form the government. So that equation, you obviously need NDC in, MPP in. All right, once you don't have them, then there is a misnomer somewhere that we need to fix. And earlier we fix that thing, the better. I believe that the way forward is that the Electoral Commission should be able to extend a hand of friendship to, NDC, and so as to bring them on board, because their inclusion is critical in managing the electoral fortunes of this country. There is nothing that is difficult for society to deal with. if they are ready to, address this problem, I think there are so many ways in doing that. The EC must be able to walk that talk and get NDC on board so as to build a certain consensus that will protect the integrity of the Electoral Commission. We know that this is an advisory body, but my feeling is that if it is not important that the parties such as the NDC should not be part, then that body will not be created in the first place at all. But once you have them in, and then there is a problem, we should be able to find a way of fixing it and bringing NDC on board. I think that is an important missing link that we need to address very soon.
Okay, then, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you, Dr. Asante. We'll see you again. Okay, let's look at the internal elections of the Opposition National Democratic Congress, with two candidates at least speaking or filing actually their nominations for the presidential race. The latest to join is Ernest Kobe after John Dramani Mahama did that earlier today. My colleague Samuel Mbura has more.
Under the NDC, the youth that has followed this party from time immemorial, if you turn your camera now to any of the branch people that we are moving with, what they will tell you is that they have never gotten anything from the party. And it's true. Me have been a grassroots man and have witnessed this. But Mr. Ernest Kobe, his coming is just for the youth, the grassroots.
The youth one?
The youth. You realize that any association that one joins, at least at the end of the day, you need some benefit. But what have they gotten from the party? Anytime these young men and women work for the party, when the party wins power, I don't want to use words that we damn them. What I can say is that we don't recognize them. Have you ever had any appointment given to a grassroots? At least there should be a time that will get DC's minister from the branch executive. Some of them are holding diploma, degrees, and masters. And when you win power, you only go and pick financiers to give them appointment. How will the party grow? In fact, the grassroots, naming ceremony, weddings, funerals, we contribute from our own pockets to finance the party at the grassroots.
Are those alone enough to qualify someone for political appointment? You talk about they picking financiers. They also hold the degree, the masters, and the advantage is that they contribute money to help the party.
So I want to ask you a question. If you put up your farm and you go to the farm every day to weed and take care of your young maize to grow, and somebody comes to give you fertilizer, after harvesting he takes all and say because he bought fertilizer, will you be happy? What about your energy you put there? What about your time? So vis-a-vis, at least we should have a balance. Sure. We are not saying that they should give everything to the grassroots, but there should be a balance.
Your candidate is coming up against a former president, a former finance minister, as well as other persons who have held different positions in the party before. These are big wigs in the NDC. How sure are you that your candidate, if he passed the vetting, can go into the elections and emerge as the flag bearer of the NDC?
I am telling you that now the party members, that is the delegates, they are thinking deep. It's no more the era where you use money to go and throw that and
is that what they do?
No, I want to tell you. That's why I was even coming to that. Do you know that anytime we are going for a contest of this nature, the grassroots, the delegates for that matter, they normally say that it is time to harvest their cocoa because they are aware that aspirants will be paying. You have been hearing that. Why do they normally get the money to pay?
Okay, then. So let's hear it from the candidate himself. Ernest Kobe is our guest here on The Pulse. It's good to see you in studio. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So you were the first person to file your nominations today.
This morning.
Do you consider that as a good sign, as a good omen, the fact that you may emerge number one when you go into that race?
Oh, to be honest with you, I did say earlier that I'm a very good manager and coach.
Right.
So always I see how the game is going and I change my strategy. So I told my boys that this morning they should speak to the head of my people, NDC, and then they give us a chance to submit earlier.
Okay, so they give you the opportunity to be the first to submit that.
I did ask.
Okay, and after you did that, John Dramani Mahama came through.
The old boy.
Yes.
Boss, yeah.
Oh, you call him the old boy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you give him the opportunity to run? Just support him and allow him to run.
To be honest with you, I'm here to create opportunity for everyone in the country to know that NDC, we brought democracy, and to let our youngs to know that we are not intimidate anybody. So far as you are confident that you can deliver what NDC want, you can come forward and pick up the phone. That is what I did.
The last time I was asking you, you threw a challenge to me. You told me, okay, well, they said I'll be back. And in fact, when I return, I'm not just paying my filing fees, but I'm also going to support the party with some cash. Have you redeemed that pledge? Have you given money to the party?
What I did say is, whoever win, I will support with cash.
Yes.
So we can take power from MP.
And I recall you saying you'd even give more than the filing fee to the party.
Yes.
Yes. I'm asking if you've done that.
I did not do it today because we're still in the process, and I don't want confidence on interest of anything.
Right.
Somebody would think that because of my money, that's why I step forward. No, it's not like that. There is something in me. There is something in you. We can all work together and build up this nation. That is what NDC is looking for. And we've done it before. We can do it again. So I'm here to prove that wherever you are, Ghana is your land. And so far as you have your NDC, you can make a difference.
And this has been by far one of the most controversial questions. It's as harmless as possible. But of course, it's been the source of a lot of controversy. And I'm going to ask you as well. Why do you want to be president?
To build a new Ghana. Because Ghana is still the same from since our democracy. And we delivered the safely for democracy, which is freedom of speech and etc. The next stage is to develop and have a good environment and have a good resources so our family and the people will be safe at home. Right now, when you look at the things, when you finish your university or you drop out, the best job for Ghanaians to do, to go and apply visa, to go and work for somebody.
Elsewhere.
Yeah, I want to put
but you've also been out of the country. I mean, looking at your profile, you've worked outside the country before.
I did.
That's your background.
I did.
So why are you accusing young Ghanaians of doing what exactly you did years ago?
Because there is no job. So I'm here to create a job so we can build our nation forward, and all these things need to be stopped. Right now, just ask yourself, the next 500 years or the next 200 years, where is Ghana going to be? Where is the Europe going to be? When you look at things in London, they know something can happen on 2020, and they decided to create a job to develop old city called London to become a new city. So if they can do that, we can do better than that.
Okay, I've heard from your OT regional chairperson, John Japon Kujo. He says, for instance, that those of you who are contesting John Dramani Mahama, what you ought to have done is that, I mean, almost all of you are coming from the Ashanti region, correct? And there's Kojo Bonsu, there's Dr. Kwabena Dufo as well, and yourself, you all come from the Ashanti region, which is not really a popular spot for the party. So what you should have done is to channel your energy, take your energy back home, go and win a parliamentary seat, and then you better the chances of the NDC. How do you respond to that?
I think it's
you disagree with him?
No, it's not understand what the democracy means. Forget about I'm from Ashanti. NDC opened the doors for anyone. When you look at our old general, chairman, his best friend is Ufusu Ampofo. So why did they contest? Sometimes certain things is a logic. They open it. The party have every right or power to say, Jem, old boy should go alone. And they did not. They say, we'll never qualify.
Can contest. Okay, I get that. But then, don't you get the analysis the OT regional chairperson of the NDC is making? The fact that if you channel the energy you're using now to run for the race into the Ashanti region, 3 of you would make a significant difference for the NDC in the Ashanti region, because this is an area where you don't get a lot of votes.
Yeah, to be honest with you, what he said, I believe that old boy was not happy with that.
Oh, really? John Mahama was not happy?
Yes, because it shouldn't go that stand. And when you look at my record, on 2020, I did help JM I did. Even myself, I was in important contract, but the day on the vote, I have to 6 hours in, 6 hours out. I spent only just, I think, 13 hours in the country for just only a vote. So if
okay, so you had to fly into Ghana,
yeah,
right, to vote, although you had an important contract,
yeah,
just to vote.
Yeah, because
and you spent 6 hours
yeah,
doing rallying, organization, groundswork, and then you flew back out, out of the country.
Yeah, so if somebody now come up and said, I have to support JM, what I'm doing, if JM win, we all supporting the party.
Okay, no matter who the flag bearer be, you're
why,
willing to support.
That's why last time I told you that if Old Boy win or Dufour win, I will support everything I have for them to get to power.
For how long have you been supporting the NDC? Because many say you're just springing up from nowhere, like nobody knows you. You don't have huge following within the NDC.
I'm someone.
Are you well known within the NDC?
I'm someone.
People know you in the NDC?
I'm someone I work from outside. And always when you see me, you never believe that this is the guy.
Who works for the NDC?
Yeah, I'm an ordinary person. And I can do anything for NDC, but you won't know me. On the other way around.
But I mean, even if the grassroots are not well aware of what you do, how about the leading figures in the NDC? John Mahama knows you well. I mean, Dr. Before, they all know that you're
to be honest with you,
member in good
if
stand.
I said to you, I see JM face to face, I'm just telling you lies.
Right.
But JM has already known my name from, which is 2019.
You've been supporting the party.
Yeah, and he know NSTs. But all this one take everybody supplies.
Yeah, I mean, we are all surprised because we didn't see that coming.
Yes.
We didn't see that you'd contest.
Yes.
And that's why I'm asking the question as to how that will translate into your votes. Because if the people don't know you, how are they going to vote for you?
The time we are in now, it's not about publicity. And it's not about who you are.
Okay.
It's what you can do for Ghana, what you can do for NDC. That is why I'm here. When you look at the record now, you will see that few people are speaking forms for MP. There are a lot of young guys inside. So my challenge is to open a door for anyone believe that can provide something for Ghana. And my aim is to build a new Ghana, to stop everything going on all the time. Everybody is fake.
Oh, they're not genuine leaders.
Everybody is fake. They're pretending this, they pretend that, they pretend this. We need to be rare people. We need to develop Ghana. We have only one Ghana. We have only one. There is no other Ghana anywhere. So if you can make a change, I can make a change. You come forward. The party leaders are give us opportunity to prove what we can do.
Okay, so all you want to do is to make a change. Okay, let's deal with the alternative. If you don't get to win, there are three other individuals. You have Kojo Bonsu, you have Dr. Kwabena Dufo, you have John Dramani Mahama. If NS Kobia doesn't win this very primaries, who else should win?
If I was said, old boy, if the old boy win, I will support with everything I have.
Yeah, but no, try and get my question.
Yeah.
There are three other individuals.
Yeah.
There is your good friend, Kojo Bonsu, there is Dr. Kwabena Dufo, there is John Dramani Mahama. If you don't win, who else would you go for?
To be honest, everyone used to say that I'm JM boy.
Okay.
Everyone used to say that. But if we'll ever win in NDC, we support our leaders. So I'll go for any one of them, and I will use everything.
Yeah, but who do you think you should go to if you don't get to win?
Oh.
Right, I know you don't want to say that. Okay.
My father is inside, so
right.
if anything goes wrong, I go.
You love John Mahama so much.
Yeah.
So why are you contesting him? I mean,
they open it. So why I see Dunkatia was contesting the Obuzuampo? They are best of friends.
Right.
Yeah, and even I can contest my own father.
Right.
Yeah, because something in me, I believe that I can deliver in Ghana for us to be safe.
Okay. What's your target for this primaries? Are you winning, and by which margin do you target that you may win?
To be honest, I'm planning for 90% because I believe myself that after the vetting, I'm a very hard worker guy. There was a guy, it's a successful business in UK. What he said to me last week, he said, Ernest, I know you're a hard worker guy. That is what you want to do. Go forward. And I believe that if you put the hard worker, I know you for the past 10 years, you're going to make change.
90%. You want to strip 90% of the votes. Is that realistic?
Yeah. For you, look, Dream Castle, look like Sandcastle, etc. But for me, I'm 100% in my heart. And always, when I decided to do something, God always helped me out because I work hard and achieve it.
There's the question as to whether you even have the resources to do what you're doing. Do you have the money to run the race? Because whether you like it or not, I'm sure by now some of the delegates are already coming to you. You know you need to, as usual, pour libation, quote and unquote. How much are you spending on this campaign?
To be honest with you, for security reasons, I'm not going to be bringing things out.
But you're spending a lot of money.
Yeah, but I have the resources to do this job. And to be honest, in life, it's all about your heart. And God will open the doors for you where you think there is no way. And sometimes people think that this guy, even today, in my own party office, some of them did not believe I'm coming to submit it. I'll be honest with you.
500,000 Ghana cedis. 500,000 Ghana cedis.
You know what my mom asked me today? Is if in case they did not take the money from me, where you going to? Because my mom think that he still see me as a young Ernest and a little one. So when I say I'm going to submit today, who's going to give you the money? How are you going to get the money?
Even your mother was surprised.
Yeah, because she have only me.
Yeah, your mom was surprised that you were able to, cough up the 50 or 500,000 Ghana cedis. That money is gone. It won't come back.
I know that.
It won't come back.
I can provide you maybe 7 times now. I don't really care. What I want is to make a change. So tomorrow, if you have an NDC card, you can go to the office at the age of 40 years and tell our leaders or our fathers that you want to stand. And they will give you the form.
If you go through the vetting, and that's not what I'm hoping or wishing for you, because this is a lot of money, and your party leadership says, I'm sorry, Ernest, you can't make it through. We can't approve you. We can't allow you to contest the elections. Will you ask for a refund of your money?
No, because I'll use the money to support whoever come in. And my biggest achievement is not everything you see. I just want to open the doors because I know that a lot of things people can do to help this country. A lot of people can do things to help the country. But there is a fear. There is a fear in people. I just want to remove it. Now, what my party leaders have done is a very grateful job they did. And as for me, decision they made, that is it. It's the end of the story. Nothing anybody can do. Yeah, so if I go to the vetting, they say this and that, this and that. Sorry, Mr. Kobia, you are not going forward. I'll say, thank you, sir.
Yeah, but you know that can happen.
Of course.
The fact that, and that's all, your 500,000 cedis
is gone. I know.
500,000 Ghana cedis.
Don't worry about it. I know that. I fully know that if they said yes, you will see me. If they say no, I'll say thank you.
Okay, let's get a sense, for those who may not know you, let's get a sense of who you are, how you make your money, for instance, because that's come up.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard some people say, well, he's a businessman, but we don't know his contribution.
Okay.
We don't know what he's about.
I'm a business guy.
Yeah, but you don't operate mostly in Ghana. So
yeah, I base in United Kingdom. Weja Bawe is my constituency. Okay. I'm into construction. I'm into sanitizer. At the same time, I provide the security. At the same time, cleaning as well. And there is a job I work with. If in future, maybe, I will do that in Ghana as well. There is a machine called TBM machine. Normally use it to do the sewage, underground sewage, and also underground train station and etc. Right. So, all my job, I provide a lot of service for Canary Wharf. And Canary Wharf is the financial state for, I would say, Europe or England. So that is it. NS is not doing anything different. Yeah, but I'm someone today, if you tell me that, NS, can you make sure that this place is painted? So far as you're going to pay me, because I have a target, I will do it for you, and I'll make sure that I finish on time, so you give me another job.
We'll come back to the NDC briefly, but because of time, I want to take your thoughts on national issues as well. Given the fact that you're aspiring to become president, if that happens, what dream do you have? I mean, in terms of your priority, because you are telling us that you want to build a new Ghana.
To be honest with you,
what would be that one? For instance, President Akufo-Addo can boast of free senior high school, right? You agree?
Yeah.
So NS Kobia will boast of?
My first one is to make sure that everybody in 18 years, or every child is in 18 years in this country, straightforward to the military, and you need to serve 3 years. The reason is, I just want them to have love for the country. So when they become
you'll give 3 years mandatory military training to everyone who attains to 18.
A lot of people, there is no job for them to do. So they're selling a lot of things in the street, making sure that they want to eat.
Okay.
So I'll create something out for them. And at the same time, may we plan, somebody like you working here, maybe you're getting 1,500, you got 3 children, and 1,500 is not enough for you in Accra. I will top up your wages every month so that you can get better living.
Oh, that's what you'll be doing for everyone?
Yeah.
Even in the private sector?
Yeah.
So you give them more money and then they do what else?
And the second one is, I'll make sure that the wages we have...
Yeah, but I mean, when you give them the money, what do they do in exchange for the money?
No.
It's for free?
The taxpayer money,
okay.
The taxpayer money we have in the country, sorry to say that, people wasting it, we're going to cut it to support the families. So like somebody giving birth and the child is disabled and mother struggle to look after their children, and etc. There will be support. Okay. And at the same time, Accra is an old city. We need to create a job for the people. So we need to start building it. Because if we start building it, we're going to generate more jobs.
Okay, so what you mean is you're going to build a new capital?
Yeah.
A new
this
capital
one,
city.
we will take it forward. Make sure that it's up to stand new development for us to have a better life and better economy and a better environment to live in.
Have you shared these plans with your party?
Of course they know.
Because I can't see that in any of your manifestos.
No, my vision statement is in.
Okay.
But my manifesto is Udachinti, future.
Oh, that's your caption, Udachinti.
Udachinti.
Oh, amazing, amazing. So we're still waiting for May. You'll be around till May, right? Or you still leave the country?
No.
You'll be here all throughout. So what commitments are you going to make to the NDC? You are indicating that you've done some in the past, correct?
Yeah.
How much, for instance, have you spent on the party? Because you were telling me the other time about how you continue to pump a lot of money to support the NDC.
Please, for security reasons, I cannot...
This is the second time you're saying security reasons. It's a lot?
Yeah, because...
It's more than... give us a range, for instance.
I'm not going to be doing that. This is the family issue. This is the family issue. What we have on the family is not supposed to be on the family.
But you know why I'm asking you? Because you told me the other time. That's why I'm asking you.
I did say that, but I cannot wash my plate outside.
Right.
Yeah, this is our family issue. And what I would say is, we all need to wait and see what the results is. And I believe that I'm going to be seeing you again here after the results.
Definitely. And you'll be the next presidential candidate of the NDC?
You never know. Anything in life you want to do, go ahead and do it. And God will help you out. Okay,
if you don't get the eventual one, there are some who are saying we should look at possibly a new phase or a new ticket for the NDC going into the 2024 elections. Would you, if you don't win the main one, opt for vice presidential slots?
No,
would you push that something else?
No, to be honest, I have to make it clear to you, I'm not here to contest any position. My plan is to build a new Ghana.
So it's either you're president or nothing else?
Thank you.
Okay. Right. Okay, your message to Ghanaians?
My message to Ghanaians is we can do it. we can build a new Ghana. We all need to come together and strong and make sure that NDC live forever.
And thank you, Ernest, for joining us. We'll see you after the contest. I'm sure that by then, I would see if your 90% mark will work. But you're telling me as well that you're a JM boy. I don't know how we'll balance that, but we're grateful so much that you've been able to spend some time with us. And you're still with us here on The Pulse. When we return, we'll tell you some more. Please stay. And you're welcome back to The Pulse. There's a lot of excitement in studio as the 98-year group for Agric Memorial are joining us to talk about the 25th anniversary. 25 years after leaving school is no joke. And I have a lady and gentleman here. They'll introduce themselves briefly for us.
I'm Sherry.
Sherry, and then
Daniel.
Daniel, of course, we need to say congratulations. 25 years after leaving school.
Yeah.
I'm sure that when you go back, you'll be like, oh my God, like a lot has changed.
I'm sure.
So let's go back. Let's look at the experience way back then. How was it for you?
It was very exciting because as teenagers who had gone from home to school, and everything was different, you're on your own, and there were the seniors and all. It was really exciting on Agric campus for us, the ladies, and I'm sure for the guys, they can say the same.
Exactly. Of course, you have your fair share of being bullied here and there, but then it taught you at first hand how to be strong and hold out your own.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you remember some of the seniors who used to bully you.
Most
definitely. But let's talk about the celebration itself. What plans do you have? What's the plan? When are you starting, and what's going to happen?
Okay, and so for our this is the 83rd Speech and Prize Giving Day for Agric Memorial, and then we're starting from the 24th of March up till the 26th. So on the 24th, we're going to have all the old students coming in. So it's going to be like a homecoming. But then on that same day, we're going to have the 98-year group are going to have a sword cutting for our legacy project. And then after that, we're going to have a candlelight procession and then a bonfire in the evening on the Friday. And then on the Saturday, we're going to have the main Speech and Prize Giving Day.
But when you talk about the legacy project, what are you putting? Yes.
So a legacy project is our giveaway to the school after the long period of our absence from the school. We are undertaking a series of projects, but the highlight of it is building classroom block and then finding a place for our teachers who are doing the yeoman's job with all the little resources that they have. So we, the 98th, year group is also our silver anniversary. We are the main sponsors for this year's Speech and Prize Giving Day.
Is it open to everyone?
It is. Everybody, the general public, especially the Amosas, past and present, and even if you're interested in coming to Agric Memorial, sure, come and have an experience.
Have fun. So share the details with our audience. When is the homecoming? When are they arriving? How long are you expecting everyone to be on campus? I mean, what's the plan?
And so we're expecting people to come to campus from Friday. So from
this
very Friday, the 24th. So from about 2 p.m., we're expecting a lot of people to troop in, and then we would have a pre-registration of some sort. Then after that, we can go on to do the sword cutting for the project, and then in the evening it's all fun. The kind of like procession and then the bonfire.
And reliving the moments in Cape Coast. This is supposed to be
Cape Coast,
right?
Just the thought of it resonates a whole lot of memories.
A lot.
Yes.
Indeed. So would you want to have support, partnership from other organizations that are willing to, for instance, support your legacy project?
Absolutely. And so we're not looking at doing it alone. We're looking, and so we are actually going to solicit for support from any organization who is interested and from any individual who is interested to come and help us to do this for our school, because our school has made us who we are now, and we really want to give back to the school.
And how about the Speech and Prize Giving Day itself? Who are we expecting? Are we expecting a guest of honor? Usually you'd have very high-ranked individuals coming to grace the occasion. What's going to happen on that day?
Okay, there are a lot of people who have been invited, a lot of dignitaries who have been invited, yes, and a lot of old Amoses too who are also going to feature. And as the main sponsors of the Speech and Prize Giving Day, we are also going to be there in full swing to ensure that everything will be successful and go smoothly. Yeah.
All right then. And if you have any special messages for, of course, parents, stakeholders, what would that be?
Yeah, I think Agric Memorial has held its own.
Right.
I mean, for the past years since 1940, and there are a lot of stalwarts who have come out of it. It's a wake-up call to all my colleagues from 98 and beyond who are just behind the scene to come out and come and support.
Yeah,
and
indeed. We love the colors when we see them.
Thank you.
And then move.
Yeah, we'll see you at the end of the week. It's going to be a long weekend of partying and
an exciting weekend.
Yeah,
so everybody's invited.
Yes, definitely.
Everybody.
You need to be a part of the
Agric grounds. Back to the hills of
So when we say, is it Amosa? What's the response like? You don't have a response.
No, we just go like Amosa.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't do that. All right then, and so yeah, you need to join them at the end of the week. But here's a wrap for you, a report on this health condition that many of you may not have heard about. It's known as the clubfoot, developed by many children across the country. Jacqueline and Sumayibwa has more in this report.
Clubfoot disease is a common condition in pediatric orthopedics with a prevalence of about 1 in 800 children born in Ghana. It is estimated that over 300 children are born with clubfoot every year in Ghana. Senior physiotherapy assistant at Nsaram Orthopedic Training Center, Gloria Jamia, stated that usually it is very difficult for parents to accept the clubfoot situation of their children.
Our first challenge with the parents, sometimes accepting it as a condition and then also applying what we do. Okay, in my facility, we see about 5 to 7 in a week, then 15 to 20 in a month.
She also revealed that the cases are on the rise in the northern region of Ghana.
We have a trek team which travel around the country. And so sometimes when they go to the north, we are getting more cases. That's within the year. And they go twice in a year, January and then in June. And so in a year, we are seeing about 300 babies with clubfoot.
Korea Foundation for International Healthcare Global Alumni Ghana chapter, in collaboration with Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service, is seeking help to create public awareness about clubfoot in Ghana. President of Korea Foundation for International Healthcare Global Alumni Ghana chapter, Dr. Ralph Amma, says people need to be properly educated on clubfoot to help prevent stigmatization.
When we say somebody has a clubfoot, it's a birth defect in which you see that the child's foot, instead of sitting, is turned inwards. So like we'll say in our normal parlance, it's curved in. So what then happens is that the child is not able to stand. I mean, if a child is not able to stand, you obviously expect some delay in the developmental milestones. Because it's inexpensive and treatable, and it's caused a lot of trouble within society because there are myths and there are all sorts of ideas surrounding it. We wanted to bring it to the fore and make the public know that it's not a curse, it is not a debilitating condition, and that is a condition that can be treated so that the burden both on the family, the society, and even the hospital and the individual is taken care of in the treatment.
Medical officials say clubfoot cannot be entirely prevented, but with early detection and early intervention, it can be managed and treated. Jacqueline and Sumayibwa's report for JoyNews.
Well, so that's Dr. Ralph Amma joining us in studio. He's the clinical director at the Accra Regional Hospital. Thank you, Doc, for your time here on the poll. So we've seen the condition there through the report, but how come there's not been enough awareness about this condition? We've seen them, but of course you agree that there's not enough awareness about the condition.
Maybe it's because
when people get to see them, there is a referral pathway for them to be seen, and because also mothers will not want to have their baby seen as having a deformity which may implicate them in a certain way because of the social stigmata. So yes, we chose this because it's becoming a growing phenomenon. And we're now seeing more children with it. And we also see adults by the roadside with this debilitating defect. So that's the reason why we have brought it to the fore.
How far can this condition be with an individual?
Well, there's a way to look at it.
Okay.
It's correctable and can easily be treated. And so if it's not treated well, I mean, all of us, you'd have to stand on your foot, is it? So if your foot has a defect,
right,
then you have a problem with posture and a problem with walking, which in medicine we call locomotion. So having this deformity therefore means that the normal shoes that everybody wears, you would have a problem.
Right.
The other thing is that most times, the first thing we look at is people's faces and people's feet. And so these things don't help them with their personal outlook and imagery of themselves. And because of this, it tends to affect them in various ways. We have, I mean, just imagine a child who has to walk to school and has a problem with the feet. You think the child will always go to school, or the child will complain about foot problems.
The stigma and all that comes with it.
Stigma and all other. So you find out that age for development and age for even the way they appreciate themselves, they will be a little backward. So we've brought it to the fore because the treatment is relatively cheap and the outcomes are very good. And I must say that even Steven Gerrard, the famous Liverpool captain,
the footballer,
he had a clubfoot.
Right. That's amazing. I never knew that. But what are the opportunities open to individuals who are suffering from the condition that they can take advantage of in terms of getting corrective measures at many of the health facilities that we have across the country?
So we're privileged that the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, and the Korean Foundation for International Health have had a certain collaboration where the Orthotics Center has been really refurbished to be able to deal with this. So we are asking that if you know anybody who has this condition, you kindly, we have a referral pathway from the hospital to the orthopedic surgeon to the center, because it's a staged management. In the initial stage, usually we do the casting. Then there's a little technical term called tenotomy. And then subsequently we do the bracing and they are good to go.
So this is supposed to be free of charge, or there'll be a cost element?
No, the cost element is only the transportation of the child and the mother to the center. But the rest of it is basically not much to deal with.
How about someone who's beyond the age bracket that you're looking at?
That is when a lot of cost input comes in, because then you would need surgery in different stages to correct it. So in the club deformity, what then happens is that, well, for those of you who are medical, we call it CTEV, congenital talipes equine virus. And it's like the feet are bent inwards like that. So if it's bent inwards, there's a tendon called the Achilles tendon, for those of you who are into football. So the tendon is stretched to some extent. So you have to correct the equinus, which is the common feature, then correct the tendon issues. Then the person can have the stability of the foot back. So that's the stages through which we go.
So it's difficult to treat that for adults than
Yes, it's technically far difficult to treat in an adult than in a child, because in the adult you have more operative interventions, but in the children it's only the tenotomy that you do. The rest are conservative.
Right. Doc, what would you want parents to know even about the condition? Because some mothers may feel like, well, abandoning the child just simply because there are some of these deformities that develop at birth. What message would you want to send out to such a parent?
The message I want to send out to parents and people within the community is that, yes, sometimes you may have the clubfoot in isolation or part of a whole syndrome, what we call a syndromic baby. And mostly the clubfoot is the easiest to deal with. So I advocate that, yes, for those of us in the health space, we should be on the lookout for this together with the other syndromes like what we call the Down syndrome and spina bifida. And for those within the community that will become foot sensitive, look at kids' foot, and if there's a problem, report to a hospital, because we have within the Ghana Health Service a clear pathway for dealing with it. Just that we want to start with the sensitization and then upscale it to a national level and make sure that, I mean, in the next 10 to 15 years, we will not be having teens and younger adults with this problem in the country.
And I see that you've been dealing with a number of these cases. The mostly reported misconceptions that you face from people walking up to you to say things that are outrageous. I'm not sure they are even related to the condition. What are some of these issues that normally come up? People feel it's spiritual, for instance?
Technically, and it's the reason why we've come to demystify it, because it's not. Some say that the mother is a witch. The mother ate something during the second trimester. Right. The mother was not wearing footwear. That's why the child has the problem. It's a myriad of things that have no truth in it. But I mean, our society as it is, people believe all sorts of things that they are told. So the first thing is the sensitization, and the second thing is also to demystify it and let them know that these are things that can be dealt with within our health space.
And I guess that's why we equally need more and more education, awareness creation. Are there some plans that you have in place to work on to reach out to more people?
Sure. So basically speaking, we started this in Accra. We have other colleagues within the region who are going to propagate the message, and we'll seek to enjoin our other healthcare workers and colleagues to help us, especially those who deal with newborns, because they are likely to see these deformities first. Because if you don't conscientize the parents and they take this child home and think this child is a problem child, or this child is a syndromic child, or this child will cause social attention, probably are going to hide this child in a room, cover the child always with socks, and the deformity, the child grows with the deformity, and the management becomes more difficult. So our emphasis is on early detection and then early treatment, because that's the best way forward. The difficulty with this is that the cause of it is scientifically not known, but by ultrasound scanning, you can determine, it can be picked up or found out in utero. So that is the way to go. If it is found out in utero, then you look forward to a baby with that deformity and seek to deal with it earlier.
But at that stage, there's little you can do. You can only detect
you can only detect, you can only detect, but there's nothing you can do till the baby comes out.
Is there any associated health problem that comes up when someone is suffering from the clubfoot?
Yes, so basically when we say a syndromic baby, so it's a baby who has more than one problem associated. So sometimes you can have the clubfoot occurring alone, or usually it occurs with other conditions. And one of them is the one I spoke to you about, the Down syndrome and the spina bifida. And so usually we use a multidisciplinary approach, so that technically with children, you try to correct the more difficult one first before you come to the easier one like the clubfoot. But we do that in liaison or in the same thinking vein.
Okay. Doc, we need to go. How do people get in touch with the society? Are you open to all health facilities where people can just walk in and get much more information on this condition and how they can get help?
So we're just a group of doctors who've had some training overseas from Korea funding. And what we seek to do in our various facilities is to engage in yearly activities that are health-driven. And we've chosen the Korea Foundation for International Health. At our meeting earlier in the day, we had assurances from the ministry that they were going to put in place a mechanism to have a registry and then create a formal referral platform. We already have one, but we need to consolidate it and then seek to look at the care and the follow-up plan. So as we speak, there are centers that are dealing with this. And we have the one at Joy and Kwanta, we have the one at Insawam, and other places. So basically, any center that has a surgeon, specifically an orthopedic surgeon, who's conversant with what we call the Ponseti method, can help deal with it. So what I would entreat everyone to do is, if you identify the problem and you have a CHIPS compound, let's follow the pathway, the clinical pathway. Go to the CHIPS compound.
First of all.
CHIPS compound sends you to district hospital. District hospital sends you to regional hospital, who are likely to solve the problem at that level. Then we enter into the registry, so that in a 5 to 10 year period, when we come to review this awareness and what we've done, we'll be able to make a statement about whether we've made progress, whether we've stagnated and we couldn't achieve anything at all.
But this is for all regions.
It's for all regions,
So it's not just though you find the services in Accra.
No, it's not Accra-based. No. We have orthopedic surgeons spread all over the country. And I want to say thank you to all our orthopedic surgeons, Dr. Ngize and co, Dr. Bukari and co. He's in the north, he's doing very well.
I'm grateful. Dr. Ralph Verma is the clinical director at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. He's also part of the Korean
Foundation for International Health.
Indeed. And Doc, we're grateful that you've been able to join us here on the Pulse, and many of you would have thought that the blues with the computerized placement and selection system is over, but JoyNews is learning that there's more happening. There's more in this report. And Education Minister Dr. Yao Sayed-Duchum has been visiting some centers today to have a first-hand experience of what's happening to the computerized school selection and placement system. He's been speaking about.
Minister for Education this morning.
Wow, I'm blessed, honorable.
You are blessed. I'm also blessed speaking with you. What issue do you have, sir?
Unfortunately, she was placed in Odogono as a day student.
Oh, you are from the Volta region. What town in the Volta region, please? Are you at Ho and your child has been placed at Odogono as a day student?
Yes, please.
So obviously you need a boarding status, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, can you give me your child's name, please?
010.
Oh, you give me the index number. 010
36
36
16 044.
044. And can I repeat it for you, please? 010 36 16 044.
Yes.
And the name is?
Johnson Beatrice Clementina.
Johnson. And the last name?
Clementina.
Oh, Clementina.
Yes, sir.
Johnson, Clementina.
Beatrice.
Beatrice. Wow, she has a beautiful long name. Okay, and then the school is Odogono, right?
Yes, but
and you need boarding.
Yes.
Okay, good. What's your number, please, so that I may be able to call you back in case?
My number is 0244.
0244 74 68. Okay, can I repeat the number? 0244 74 68. Hello?
0244 74 70 68.
Good. I have your number. We're going to work on the request by Beatrice, yourself or Beatrice Clementina, and my staff will get back to you. As soon as they do it for me, I'll love to call you back and speak with you.
Of course, excerpts of what transpired earlier today when the Education Minister toured some of the centers. You're still with us here on the Pulse. And the internal race within the National Democratic Congress is heating up. A lot of candidates vying to seek the mandate of delegates. One of the areas to focus on this time round is the Adenta constituency. Former Gender Minister Nana Oyebampo is joining us via Zoom for a brief conversation on this. First of all, congratulations going out to you. But of course, you are now up for the race, contesting against other individuals who are seeking to be the NDC's parliamentary rep for the area. How is this much more of a challenge for you? Okay, it appears that we've lost Nana Oyebampo there, but we'll definitely try to reconnect and get some conversation out of that for you. You're still with us here on the Pulse. We'll be right back after this break. Please stay. And you're welcome back. Traders who lost their products and items at the KGTM market to the latest inferno are asking management of the facility to look for an alternative place for them so they can ply their trade. There's more in this report.
Now, the KJTM market has been reopened for effective trading. The new directive from management is that some shops will be closed down for reconstruction. Traders and occupants of these shops raise concerns.
We still have challenges because, as for us, no, ours, although that it has been destroyed, but our partner is not all that destroyed. So they are supposed to allow us to do our marketing, to do our business, because we are having kids in the house, we are having families. It was impromptu. Although that was destroyed, we are not happy about it. But that part no, is supposed to be closed, not our parts. And they were saying because of the fire, how, I don't know, I don't even know. Because for our parts, no, if you go to the other end, for that place there, it's supposed to be closed. No one should tell you that it should be closed. But for this side, you know, you yourself, you can even just take a look at how this place is. So our partner, I don't really know the reason why.
The news said that say the only left and right. Say
we are not so happy. They are not going clear with their directive, either to let us stay here or not. They sacked us and sent us somewhere else, only to see us moved out again.
Some of the baby for him. Yaba hom say omo che 50 enfe no mankogu ye ho anu ma base ye hu don person omo kire ye enti yesre aban no onka bi ma ye.
So many of us were not affected, and now we don't know what to do. Government must intervene. We are working, but we don't have electricity.
Baby omo say ye ntena ha ba ebi so omo ha ye adwuma nso so esum wa ha baby light or baby light no or no maso or no madum no.
Leadership of the traders union say management of the KJTM market must avert their decision.
We are craving the indulgence of the authorities to expedite any action that they need to take, because as I can speak now, those affected are in a hard situation. Even some of the stores were not burned down, but so far as they were close to the area, they have also been affected. And we are even begging management to identify some areas, if possible, these people can be settled so that they can also ply their trade. Because if the period for the reconstruction is unduly extended, it will have a repercussion on those affected. So all that we are calling for is that they need to expedite action on whatever activity that they are to take, so that these people can be reinstated to come and ply their trade.
So these are the concerns raised by traders here at the KJTM market. They want management to reconsider their decision. For JoyNews, my name is Nanabwache Dankwayadom.
And the airport in the Volta regional capital who has been disconnected owing to indebtedness of some 63,000 to the Electricity Company of Ghana. The regional PRO, Benjamin Etri, has been speaking to JoyNews about the ongoing mass disconnection exercise within the region.
that's University of Health and Allied Sciences, paid 1 million Ghana cedis out of 1.4 million Ghana cedis. Whole Polytechnic or whole technical university is currently under disconnection for ONS for close to 500,000 Ghana cedis. The whole airport also is under disconnection. They couldn't make payments. The customs office, i.e. the Ghana Revenue Authority office in who is also under disconnection for ONS around 50,000 Ghana cedis. They made payment of 10,000 Ghana cedis this morning, but we could not reconnect them because it wasn't up to the 90% threshold that we are looking at. Then again, we proceeded to Petro, where you have the SEPS Training Academy over there. They also owe us for up to around 75,000 Ghana cedis. And we also had to disconnect them. We promised making payment on Thursday, but we had to disconnect them. Until payment is made, we are not going to reconnect them. These customers were owing since last year. Others are owing us for like 7 to 8 months. We humbly appeal to our cherished customers to make payments to enable us to sustain the power sector, to power supply to organize. We humbly appeal to our cherished customers. Do not wait for us to visit you before you make payment, but try and make payments before we come. You can use the short code *226# or the ACG Power app. You download it on Google Play Store or App Store and then use it to make payment, and then your account will be credited as soon as possible.
And of course, it's time now for our Ghana Man series. We're taking you to an exciting place where you may want to experience in the coming days. It's about the Wala waterfalls. Our colleague Koji Angsen has been touring the site and comes through with this report.
Today, we have made the 80-kilometer journey from Kumasi to explore this rather large sanctuary spanning about 53 square kilometers. It's been here since 1975 and it's under the daily management of the Forestry Commission and their ever-present armed forest rangers, who told us that before coming to the sanctuary, visitors are required to first go to the district office in Kumewu to buy tickets. If I'm honest, the stillness of this hot afternoon and the total absence of any trace of animal life whatsoever makes the mental image of this vast field, filled to bursting with buffalo, even more enthralling. So, what is the name of this river?
It's Pami. Yeah, Pami.
Ah. Wow, it's beautiful. And is it connected to the waterfall?
Yes, please. From here to waterfalls, it's just a small distance.
Oh, so it's now going to the
waterfalls.
Wonderful.
So when you come to this place, we call Bonfubri. Bonfubri. That small part, is Bonfubri.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So we are going to cross?
Yeah, we can cross it.
Okay. You go first, let me see how you do it.
Yes, a small, so come slowly.
The rock formations are really nice, eh? I mean, if not for anything at all, even before you see the waterfall, you would have taken 100 beautiful nature wildlife selfies, you know, to make your social media pop and show that also you're a tourist. In fact, let me take some myself.
Obahasia, we in a nice place.
Come, let's take some selfies. Finally, here it is in all its glory. Whoa, that is beautiful.
Yeah. You can get close.
I can go closer.
You can go closer.
Is it slippery?
Yeah, it will slip.
If I stand on, I'll fall.
Yeah.
I'll fall.
Yeah. But we can watch and watch well.
I thought it might be a good idea to get as close to the falling water as possible. I was wrong. Slippery rocks made it a very dangerous proposition. So how deep is the water?
The water is a meter from the top down.
If I stand inside, where will it get to?
It's like it will enter here.
My chest?
Some here.
That's quite deep. And do people swim here?
Yeah, they swim.
You know, from above, this place really does look like it was plucked out of a nature magazine. A beautiful cul-de-sac of rock and water. This is your job there. I can't do some.
It's our job there.
Think nature. Think camping. Think unspoiled beauty. Think the road less traveled. Think untinctured idyllic scenes of nature. Think road trip with an epic picnic at the end of your journey. Think Bomfubri Wildlife Sanctuary. In fact, don't just think it, explore it, and thank me later.
And you might want to check out that interesting sports. But that's all we have for you here on The Pulse. I am Blessed Sogah. Log on to myjoyonline.com. We have updates there for you.